and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, my co-host, Jose Romero.
Greetings, salutations, my same color shirt buddy over there, kind of. An honor.
We're representing.
Presenting.
We're representing.
It's true.
We're doing double episodes today.
That Daredevil, that's right. So you figure we get... Someone's got dressed up in red, might as well be us. We're still waiting for it.
You know what? You're right. If you think about it, only the first episode, a little Daredevil costume.
A little bit, that's true, a little bit in the first episode.
And a little bit of a hint in this episode. The last episode, a little hint, a little things to come.
Quick nugget. We'll get into all that.
Yeah.
It's not a big... It's been a couple weeks. Not a whole lot of stuff has really dropped. Been kind of quiet. You know, DC's quiet. Marvel, for the most part, is quiet.
Everyone's getting ready. It's the calm before the storm.
Probably nothing else going on. You know, the geekdom for the most part. Everyone's focusing their hate on Snow White, and justifiably so.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen. A movie where your 7 other supporting leads are politically problematic based on addressing who they are. So you got to CG all of it, and your Snow White isn't even white. I mean, listen, we're all for Latino representation, but I'm like, come on, that's seriously.
You got the stars at odds. They can't. I mean, the whole Israel thing, and they've had.
I mean, it's
been a mess. It's been a disaster, and the movie shows.
You thought Brave New World was a whole quagmire. This is
yeah, I mean, I can't compare it to that since I haven't seen it, but this is not good. So that said, everyone's hating there, so no one's really keeping a close eye on what's going on. So a couple of things we'll touch on. We'll do a lot of Daredevil stuff and all that. Do have a bone to pick with Daredevil. We'll get to that in a second. But let's start with some kind of different kind of news. Kevin Smith, one of the Patreons of nerddom, right? It's been around.
Absolutely. I would dare say one of the grandfathers of pro comic books as just not being kid media for everything. I mean,
he's my for exactly.
His Clerks, Mallrats.
He's a horrible. His reviews are terrible. He likes everything. So that notwithstanding, he loves it all. Right? I mean, God bless.
Yeah, I mean, listen, some fans are just hardcore fans about everything. I get it.
I get it. But yeah, he's been around. He's done a lot of comics and film, all that good stuff. And he's back.
Masters of the Universe. That's
true. Forgot about that. He did write that. Although that came under some fire. Fair enough.
I liked it.
I know I liked it too. So whatever, for whatever that's worth. But now he's back to writing. Not back to maybe his roots. I don't know if it's his roots or not. But
it's not back. But he did write Daredevil. Oddly enough, he's one of the guys who sort of kicked Daredevil into the stratosphere of where he's been. It's all because of his initial run during the Marvel Knights run in the late 90s, early aughts.
It was 98, I think, I want to say.
In 98, yeah.
I think so, more or less.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, right?
Spider-Man.
So he's done a lot of stuff. He knows his stuff, obviously.
He did Green Arrow. He did Green Arrow.
I'm sorry.
Right. Yes. But now, they just announced there's a big giant-sized Spider-Man #1, a celebration of sorts, a bunch of different creators, and he's one of the creators on the book.
That's good. I'm glad to see him get more involved. He hasn't done a whole lot lately.
He really hasn't. I mean, he left sort of like a bad taste in the Marvel fandom because he was writing this big Bullseye Daredevil miniseries, and after 2 issues, just stopped. Never.
Right.
And there was he did write a Spider-Man Black Cat series that also just stopped as well.
Yeah.
So
it's weird, but
so he did write Spider-Man. You're right. He did write Spider-Man. Black Cat. Yeah. You're right. You're right. My bad.
No,
hey, you explain me.
Yeah, so that shit, man. The power of red. He did. Was it Clerks?
There's a lot of Clerks comics. He's got his own imprint.
Well, he did a movie I think it was Jane's. I forget which one it was. Jane's
Strikes Back or Reboots.
The reboot one. The reboot kind of, which wasn't that good.
Well, sorry about Strikes Back. He did the first comic book adaptation. He criticized that was a kind of a fun little. They bought the rights to Blunt Man and Chronic, and it became a whole cavalcade of it. And then they sort of did it again with the reboot as well, as reboots tend to do. You sort of repeat the process. So there's been a lot of meta commentary on the comic book industry and nerddom as a whole. And, the beginning of anonymous nerds online just crapping on everything. I mean, I can't hear that song, How Many People Want to Kick Some Ass, without thinking this is what you should do all the time.
He's been around. He's heard it all. Because it's funny, because I don't know if I like this going back to the comic stuff, and I think that's where he should stay. right? I think.
I like his movies. The 4:30 movie was actually really good.
Which one?
The 4:30 movie.
Why I can't picture that
It's
movie.
it was a limited run movie, but it's basically
I don't know why I
in
didn't
the
see it.
mid '80s. There was like a bunch of kids who like skipped school to go see a movie in the afternoon, and then they were like going to the other theaters. Like you're kind of doing that run where you used to do, where you pay for one movie theater and see a bunch of movies in one day.
Wow,
It's
I
actually
don't
really
know.
good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
And the,
yeah,
Kevin Smith directed that. Okay, fair enough.
yeah. Wrote and directed it.
Oh, interesting. Come on, I guess it was one of those straight to video. But I mean, again, it's not even a theatrical release, so
It was a really small
very
limited
small.
run
So
because
he's kind of stayed in that. He's never gotten bigger than what he probably should have. Well,
he's
maybe
got
not
yeah
should
he's
have. But
he kind of got into this weird lane where I forgot who keeps producing his movies where they're like, if you can keep making a movie at this budget, we will release it. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
and so Kevin Smith's the first one to joke around where he's like, if you need a movie to make exactly $18 million, I'm the guy
I
for
got you.
you
I'm your
because I
guy.
will make you earn $18 million on a budget like four. Not bad. So
Yeah, not
there
bad.
you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, but I don't think I want to ever see him like in, DC or Marvel and MCU and all that. I don't
you,
know.
you, you know what?
I
I
don't know.
kind of do, but it's got to be the right project. It's got to be. It can't be. I don't want to see him like on Nova. No, that's not. I don't want him
No,
on that.
it's tough, and I don't know if his sensibilities fit what Ken Feige
Do,
trying to do. Maybe it does. I
do you
don't know.
know? Honestly, do you know what I would love to see him on? And he was really close to doing it, and it's still like I have a little torch, like little flame. Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck as a Kevin Smith movie, as like a commentary on
Yeah.
society, would be
I think
great.
on its own, yeah. I don't think he could be connected to the MCU, but as like a side thing with that, I would agree with you there. But if
Yeah,
it, yeah,
it can't be like multiverse. Like this is the thing you need
no,
to watch,
right,
but
yeah,
it'll be
yeah,
super fun. It's almost like if they did like a special presentation.
yeah.
That's I would like right there do it, no problem. You know?
That's fair. That's fair. So that's good. I'm glad he's back at least in comic books.
Yeah, and it's a Fantastic Four timely because Fantastic Four coming out in July.
Yeah.
So if you want a little Spidey, a little Fantastic Four, that's the way to go.
And if you want his opinion is Fantastic Four, don't bother. He thinks it's great. Um,
Jose's from the future. He's
he's,
seen
he's,
it.
he's the man. Let's go to DC. Just a little small news on DC, and
All right.
we talked about Sergeant Rock being I guess in development or whatever. Daniel Craig was
Sure.
going to be the lead. That fell through kind of recently. I was like, okay,
Oh, all
but
right.
out with the old, in with the new. Apparently in talks, which basically means you're in for the most part. Is Colin Farrell sticking
From the
around
Penguin
from
to
the
Sergeant
Penguin,
Rock,
right? As Sergeant Rock.
sullied in the whole DC-ness of it all. Just like, oh, this is so
Yeah, I
nice.
guess they kept him in house. Like, well, we're gonna keep you here and keep you paid, and then
Yeah.
let's go. So I guess he's taking over the lead of Sergeant Rock, which I think is a better choice. I like him a lot better. I like Daniel Craig, I do, but
I like
Colin
Danny Craig a lot
Farrell,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Colin Farrell's a different level. Let's just put that clear.
There's
Let's make
there's
that
a
clear.
little bit
Yeah,
more of a I
he's
put it
got
this way.
more range by far.
Well,
Yeah,
I will say I was different.
they're
Like
both good.
Colin, like Daniel Craig can play a role. Colin Farrell becomes the role. Does that make sense?
Fair, yeah, absolutely. No, I agree.
That's the way.
Yeah,
Like there's almost like a full Daniel Craig is like, this is a facet of me that I can pull in a character. Colin Farrell becomes there,
that's it.
almost very early De Niro, very method in
I
that
think
sense, where he's like fully committed
he's
into it.
really good. I mean, I'm saying he's just a better actor. It's just, and I like Daniel Craig. But let's
Yeah.
call it spade a spade. So he's in. So I like that. I still don't think it's such a weird project, though. It really is. Sergeant Rock just. I still don't get why this is being made. To be honest with you, at this time, I just.
You know what? I think it's a kind of smart. Do you remember the movie Fury?
Fear's a good movie.
I
Yeah.
Fury, but with the edges of it are elements of comic book. Like you'll get GI robots. You have those edges, maybe some sort of little bit of sci-fi in terms of like what the Nazis are doing. But in the day, it's a platoon of dudes in the middle, like way in too deep across enemy lines, who can't go back. So the only way is going forward. That's Sergeant Rock, and you can make that work. Super easy.
I mean, you can make it work. I just don't think it's the right. When DC's trying to build itself from where they are, which is an uphill battle.
I
I
think
don't know if this is a project that's going to get butts and seats.
I think it could be. You don't need a big budget. You can make it very. I don't want to say Saving Private Ryan, but that's sort of like the de facto image.
Right.
It's not
It's not
right.
that.
Like I said, you make it Fury level, that budget, make it character
Well,
focused
I'm not
on
saying
like,
it can't be financially viable, but
but
they need more than just they need big hits. They need DC to get past whatever hurdle it hasn't gone past over the last 10 years, right?
right, but I feel like you could set up, because you're trying to set up a universe. This kind of sets the groundwork of, like, like Captain America: The First Avenger sort of set the groundwork of what the World War II aspect of Marvel
Well,
was.
but
That's what I kind of feel this movie would
I think,
do
but
without
I'm just talking about
legacy in it.
butts and seats, right? This movie could be an Oscar-winning movie, but how many Oscar-winning movies make money? Very, very few.
Right,
And
right,
that's where I'm coming from. As DC, you're trying to get butts and seats. This is not exactly the project that's gonna say, "Hey, come watch DC." This could be
right.
phenomenal. I don't dispute that. Great, all that. This is a movie you release in 10 years after DC's been established, right? And then you get some of these other ancillary characters and build off that, right? You still the core DC still has to be Superman, Batman. Let's be honest,
I mean, yeah,
those are the moneymakers, and all we've heard is Superman and Sergeant Rock
and Supergirl.
and Supergirl, but that's not one of the core ones. But at least
Right.
it's a much bigger character than Sergeant Rock.
Yes.
So I'll give it that much.
Yeah, Supergirl to Sergeant Rock.
Right, totally different.
Wait,
Right, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I get that. That can put butts in seats potential, right? Particularly if Superman is good. Plus, you're going after the female market. Smart, I get it, no doubt, right? But those we want to hear this Batman's. We don't hear anything about that, right? I know this is the
By the
movie
way,
at the time.
did we ever talk about this? Because this was just brought to my attention. I had no idea. There's a rumor that maybe Alan Richardson from Reacher is going to be Batman.
No, I heard that that came out before, and I think James Gunn shot that down. But they were talking to I'll call him Reacher because he's Reacher.
Yeah.
And I guess the interview and they ask him, would he do it? And he's like, he'd do it for free. Like he would love to do it, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like, he's in talks or somebody heard it. So he's just him coming out saying he wants to be Batman, which who wouldn't want to be Batman? But I think because I think we mentioned this a couple years back, all these rumors and all that. But I think Gunn said no to that. Like, that was nothing viable with that. Doesn't mean he can't. But
I was about to say it's the height difference on a Superman Batman. It's gonna be crazy.
I mean,
That's gonna be
the CGI you can play. They can make Tom Cruise look a little bigger than he is. Even they can make him. I mean, it would be cool to see him as Batman. I think.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling how good of Bruce Wayne he'd be. Because obviously the physicality, we all know he can do it clearly, right?
Sure.
I just don't know if he's a Bruce Wayne. I don't know.
I don't know if he's
yet, right?
charming enough.
Right. Maybe he could. He could surprise with the right director. He could maybe do it. I know physically, right? I mean, I'd rather see him do something else. We can use his physicality and not have to rely on trying to be something he can accomplish.
Sure.
I don't know what a character would be in DC though, but I don't know. And you can tell me who he'd be a good character for. Bane.
I think that's almost too on the money.
I don't know. I get it, but I'm just just popping my head. I don't know who else I see him as. Aquaman. Maybe an Aquaman.
You know what? He did. Didn't he play Aquaman in Smallville?
He did.
So he kind of already has a toe in the water,
and he's more physically imposing now. He's a bigger Momoa, right? Then I have to make him as kind of, yo, dude, what's up? As he did before, which I like, but a different, a little darker tone. I don't know, but yeah, he's not going to be Batman.
Okay, but you're right. I understand the idea of like, why are you doing this and not that? And I feel like the interesting thing is because you don't have as much pressure on a Sergeant Rock movie as you would like a Batman or a Wonder Woman. You can maybe do some stuff that's a little subversive, a little bit like unexpected, and get a little wiggle room to pull it off without such harsh criticism.
They will have to keep that budget low, and that's been the that's been the issue with all these students, not just everybody's. Just even Warner Brothers recently, they've been trying to make cuts because something like Mickey 17, which wasn't that kind of movie, got a $120 million budget, ridiculous. We've seen all those other movies like Balloon, Snow White, 200 and something, ridiculous. I mean, it's just Sergeant Rock can be a $150 million movie.
No.
It's got to be Joker 1 kind of money, right? 50, 60.
Like 40 mil, like 40
to 60 at best, and maybe recoup some of it.
Right.
But yeah, they got to be careful. I don't think that's the movie that people are just going to go out in droves to go watch it. I really don't.
Right.
We will.
That's a movie that's gonna. If it succeeds, it's through word of mouth exclusive.
Correct. Or maybe like when it's on. You've seen a lot of movies like John Wick's an example. First John Wick didn't do anything, but it caught fire in the whole market. And all of a sudden, second comes out and boom, now it's making money. So something like that for sure. But that's all. That's the two quick stories here. So let's go to Daredevil. It's been a while, but we got interesting news about Daredevil first before we get to the show because there was obviously we had heard, which we never talked about, but oh my god, I forgot his name, who plays Punisher.
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. Oh god, and I love John Bernthal, and
it's great.
He's great. I love him. Everything. I wish he'd get more work. I really do because he's really good.
You know, it's really funny because he started off Walking Dead. That's like the first time I got to really know of somebody.
Right. I forgot about that. He did Walking Dead.
Yeah, and then I think he did like a Purge movie or something, or was that the guy who played?
No, I think.
Oh, that's a dude who played Crossbones in the Captain America movie.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I sometimes I get them confused. Yeah. But he is in the new sequel to The Accountant with Ben Affleck.
Well, he was in the original.
I just saw the trailer.
He was in the original Accountant.
So I'm glad he's getting some other additional work around.
Wolf of Wall Street. He did a show on HBO.
Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, you're right. So he's done some stuff, but you're right. Yeah. He's so good. I want to see even more.
Yeah, he doesn't get the lead in a lot of things. I love him. He's
good.
But yeah, so there's a couple of stories with him. First one. Obviously, he came out, and you sent me something on it too, where I guess when they're doing Daredevil initially, in the bad times, he walked out of the project, and he was the walkout or whatever, because his character was not getting the justice he felt it needed, right?
I heard it's not justice. I heard he didn't even like the motivation of what
the character wasn't what he thought it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. He's like, this doesn't make sense.
Which we knew because the whole show was not going to be what it should be,
right?
And let's be honest. So I'm glad he kind of stepped up and said, "Nah, I ain't doing this crap." And I think that I don't know, actually part of this way of changing what they were doing. I mean, just part of it. So good for him. But that even one point because now he's trying to get his Punisher special on Disney Plus, like a movie or whatever, like not a series per se.
It's a special presentation, right? Just like we talked about Howard the Duck, he wants to do a special presentation, right?
Werewolf by Night or whatever.
Werewolf by Night, right?
Something which I think would be really cool, and it's going to get done right because they asked him to pitch it, write it, and pitch it whatever case. It's not developed. It's in development, but it's not greenlit.
Which is pretty awesome.
Which is cool, but at least now know it's going to be the way it should be because he's
absolutely.
He's going to walk away the first time. He'll walk away the second time. So that's good. So that's. I mean, I'd like to see a Punisher. I'd like to see a Punisher series, not just a one-off thing. I think Punisher.
If you haven't rewatched it in a long time, I suggest watch the first 2 seasons of Punisher. Yeah. They're great, man. They're really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the first season's great. Second one's really good. I mean, he was awesome in the second season of Daredevil when he first came out. Like, oh man. But I don't know. Maybe do a special and it's really good and it leads to a series.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see that. He's not going to be we're not seeing him in Avengers Doomsday and all that stuff. That's obviously. Yeah. But yeah, he's great, and he was great this week when, of course, he finally appeared in Daredevil. Right, we're waiting for the Punisher.
I'll say it right now. This episode, the newest episode 4, right?
4th, right.
This unfortunately is one of those episodes where you could really tell they were mishmashing 2 different episodes together. Or I was like, oh, probably. I see the ghost of what they were gonna do.
Right.
But the minute that John Bernthal walked in, you're like, this is a show I'm watching.
Yeah. This is it. John Bernthal saved that episode. It really did, right? He was great.
Yeah.
And I love the interaction.
Absolutely.
And I hope we see more. I'm sure we will. I hope. If we don't see more of him, we're disappointed.
I
hope we see more of him.
I heard
think we are.
That episode 5 and 6 is a 2-parter, and it involves the Punisher. That's right.
No, that's great. No, that's good. We finally get introduced to the Muse. But let's go back to episode 3. 3, which was
the court case.
Egregious. And, soapbox time here. And I talked with my brother on the watch list because he had brought it up. And I was going to bring it up if we had done a show last week. But damn it, MCU continues is disrespect of the Latino community. It's just getting ridiculous. Now, I mean, listen, we all know, we talked about, this lack of representation. No one disagrees with that. They can't disagree with that because there's none, right? Here we finally get a white tiger. He's Latino, of course, but how do they treat him? He gets arrested because he's brown. I get it. He can only be good if he wears white tie. You can't even give him like a regular suit. He's got to be a white guy on the outside. And then they have the nerve to kill him off. Yet another character that could potentially meant something.
Listen,
and he gets whacked.
I have to Nerdsplain this.
Egregious.
That episode is literally based off a storyline in the comics
Hey,
which brought
man.
back White Tiger from obscurity. Nobody was using White Tiger. White Tiger died, and since he died, the mantle of White Tiger has been pushed on to his sister and his niece, and now there's generations, like 2 generations of comic book nerds who only know White Tiger as a female Latina character. To the point that when you watch Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man the cartoon, Lady White Tiger is there. His niece is in the cartoon, the whole series. She's part of it as White Tiger. So sometimes you got to sacrifice an old idea to bring in a new idea, and you get to see her in the beginning of episode 4. So they're laying the groundwork for her to be White
This is
Tiger.
the
I'm
MCU.
really,
I have no faith that they will. They have yet. We haven't seen it yet.
but this is like, once again, there's some things where you do is like, well, that's not in the comic books, but I see what they're doing, and this is verbatim the comic.
Maybe, but until we see that, because we haven't seen it yet, we have yet to see a Latino character at the forefront, right? They tried and
I was
they
thinking
give us
about that.
ancillary
I,
guys. They give
I've
us a secondary. I heard he's jokey all through Captain America in a really mediocre bad movie. They take every Latino they hire and whitewash them to play white roles. We talked about that. The trailer that is, of course, Oscar Isaac. We got Pedro coming in as Mr. Fantastic. He's got to be white too, because God forbid he can have a Latino guy at the forefront. And here's White Tiger, of which you and I discussed how it could be cool to pair up, which we thought that could happen in the show.
Well, I knew he was going to die because of the storyline, but I thought they might buffer it a bit. I didn't
Yeah,
know if it was going to be like right into that
they
story.
ain't wasting your time. They can't even give a Latino guy his freedom. He was found innocent, which is so rare in the outside world. Let's be honest. And the minute he gets his freedom, whack, the white man brings him down yet
Not the white man,
again.
it's the police. It's the systematic oppression. That's what it is.
The white cops, goddammit, white cops. We all know how this works. We all know it. And here we go. So, it's a shame, but half joking, but at the same time, it sucks that we have a chance and the rug just pulled up under our feet.
I was going to say that the guy who played White Tiger, the guy who died from cancer, that actor died from cancer,
right?
He did such a good job that I don't want to see because he can't come back to reprise the role.
Right.
If he didn't die, you got to recast, and you got to get someone
That's fine.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of glad he did die because he got to make that character whole and pass it as it is to comics. And by the way, I thought it was adorable that his niece came in and she was pure Puerto Rican, 5 feet tall.
I mean, you're right.
I was like, that is very much an Hispanic girl's height.
There really is.
I get it.
But again, it's just sad to see it here. And MCU is the worst of them all. They get away with a lot.
We have Namor. Namor is a white character that made
He was
Hispanic.
A villain, not even a good
He's
guy.
an anti-hero. And once again, comic book accurate. Namor started bad, became
good.
I
get
back
it, but he's not the lead. He's a guy who gets
second lead.
They get cast to the side. Here we go. It's just classic Marvel, and Marvel gets a pass. They really do. And I'm all about fairness, right? And I get it, right? And I always go back to Trump. Trump deserves everything he gets, but the point is, only he gets it when everybody needs to get it. Everybody, right? And and Disney, who preaches diversity and all that, they're the worst studio, the worst when it comes to diversity. They really are. And
I think they're not the worst, but their Hispanic position is real soft.
If you look at that, Black Panther, that's it. Out of like 30 movies, let's be honest, it's caught away, but they don't get any flack, and and just all jokes aside, they are the worst. And
Anthony Mackie, Captain America, that's a black lead.
Secondary Captain America, and they gave him a shitty movie.
That's true.
They gave him a shitty, right? And then this is what they get. They used to give Black Panther something really, good.
I'm still more mad that Secret Invasion bottomed out Nick Fury and Rhodey. That movie knocked out 2 black characters.
And they're flushing down the toilet. It's like,
that was a real bummer.
It's really bad, and they need to be called out just as much as anybody else is, because they are the worst. They really are. And again, as Latino, and like you said, just the Latino community, we are the largest minority.
Yeah,
it's not even close. Not even close. And 0. And it's been since 2000, 0 in 15 years. Come on, 1. Even DCU gave us 1. Even gave right. They gave us one. It wasn't a great movie. It didn't do well, but they gave us one.
It was pretty good.
At least, I liked it, but it didn't do well. But
Yeah.
again, it was just
No, right.
it was just in the shits. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But
yeah,
at least
yeah.
they gave us they gave us a shot, right? They put us at the forefront, in a decent movie. I'm not saying it's amazing,
Yeah.
but I should have done better. I wish they would have done better. But MCU's got to do better than this, and it'd be cool to see It's another run of numbers. Hey, here we go again. So now we left.
I get it. Yeah.
Now we left
yeah.
all the white guys and a girl who still can't afford to buy a phone that has 4K capabilities. HDR.
I think she's using an old Canon video camera.
Black girl, look at it. They can't even afford to give her a real phone these days. My God, it's free to Verizon. Just sign a 2-year contract. You don't gotta pay. Come on, man. But I tell you, it's terrible. But the episode was solid. I liked it. The whole with the courtroom.
Yeah, I was surprised.
It was an exciting
how
episode,
much I liked.
Yeah,
I was surprised how much I liked episode 3. That there's a courtroom drama, which I know was not 100% legally accurate. It was fun to watch. It kept the drama of it all. right. I enjoyed what they were doing with it. I even liked the fact that the way they started episode 3, you're like, what the hell's going on? And they sort of backtracked it. I was like, oh, okay, now it all makes sense.
Right.
I like that aspect of it. The episode I enjoyed the least is this week's episode.
Surprising.
Only because
Okay.
you could really see the tonal changes, and it kind of worked, but there's a lot of just let it go to make it work.
Right. Yeah.
But
That's fair.
the minute Barenthal's scene, and that thing was only 3-4 minutes. That scene, to my opinion, saved the whole episode. I was this is exactly
100%.
I was excited. I will say, I think we talked about it, but I don't know if we really talked about it on camera. I suspected that the first 2 episodes, when you were seeing Wilson Fisk's bloody knuckles, I think that's Adam. I think that's the dude.
Right. Yeah.
So seeing him in the cage, I was like, that's kind of awesome. Yeah. It's kind of good right there.
Did we bring it up on camera? I don't remember if we did or not. But
they never. I know we talked about it off.
I
never actually had a reason to bring it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, but you're right. Yeah, we finally saw that. At first, I'm like, duh, this guy Adam.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up. So it goes back to Fisk being who he always was. I don't know if he ever had any, which is fine, any intentions of turning the corner.
Fully changing. And also, the fact that he eats this big pasta sausage heavy meal. I was like, you are owning your New York Italian background growing up. Like, hey, look at this over here. Sausage with the pasta. It's great, delicious. That guy's like, I'm so hungry. Like, shut up before I beat you. I'm going to eat this food. I'm going to smack around a little bit. Like, that's great.
Fisk is getting a little bit thin for our taste, man. We like a little bigger Fisk. Eat up, man.
Well, I mean, listen. You in public, you eat the egg white with the one asparagus, very classy. But when you're in the mud, you got some pasta, some sausage, in front of a guy that you beat up because he banged your wife. That's how you do it. Yeah, all about it. Fantastic.
That was fun.
No notes.
But that was kind of cool. But no, it's coming. The tonal thing you can tell, which is listen, they, like the first episode, there was stuff that it seemed like they did late. And it was confirmed that was added, done after the fact as far as the whole 15-20 minutes of talking and all that.
Right.
So that stuff is still there, and you're right. 4, it was weird. I liked that.
4 was the most egregious.
It really was. Yeah,
of the Frankenstein.
You can tell. It's like, okay, it's not terrible, it wasn't bad. It was just off-putting.
Right.
So I get it.
Yeah.
But it did end when it did set up well. We got the little taste of the Muse, who was going to be the one that we finally get.
I like that.
The villain, I guess, of this series, right? Which it's going to be Muse. I know they're going to bring back Bullseye and Fisk is Fisk, but Muse is the guy they're all going after and stuff. And I'm assuming Punisher.
And listen, I also appreciated that they name dropped Skrulls. I was like, even that was like dope, awesome.
That was kind of weird. Cool. I kind of prefer this being its own thing. Like.
No, I get it, but the nerd in me was like, oh, they talked about it.
That's awesome. I don't know that's the best thing to bring up, but whatever. I get it.
I know.
So does anybody know about the Skrulls? Like, I don't remember that being like.
Well, from Secret Invasion.
I know what I'm saying, but I'm
that's the only reason you know about
the audience. Like, does the world know? I'm trying to remember. Was it revealed?
Yeah,
maybe it was
because they remember the president announced that they were going to kill. They started killing Skrulls on TV at the end of the.
Okay.
So they know, right? Yeah. So they know, but it's not like a big. But they know, right? Especially now that the Red Hulk has been president. The whole reason why that other dude lost the elections because he mishandled the whole Skrull situation.
Gotcha.
So that was
right. We shouldn't do any more.
Yeah.
They tried. They tried.
I
Move on.
I just
No,
like the
that's
name
cool.
drop.
I
I
mean,
just
it's a
like
good
the name
reminder
drop. That
of
was
the
cool
world
to
that
put
you
it
in.
out
So
there.
I guess that's fine. You know, whatever. I have no problem with
Absolutely.
that. Because
Absolutely.
that whole part was kind of weird. Like what he steal again? Like some dessert.
It was
He stole.
called
Yeah, something. Yeah, it
Frutternutters
was some.
or Frick
It's like
Fracks
weird.
or something like
This is
that.
the
Yeah.
case we're dealing with. I mean,
But you could, that was it. It was a ghost of the old
weird, but
episode. But
weird.
I did like the meta commentary of like these poor
Yes,
people
that
are
that
barely
part worked.
struggling to get
Yes.
by. They get screwed over, and if we rather spend more money putting them in jail than
Right.
just helping
Correct.
them
That
get
that that,
by.
that
And
part
so
worked.
this
They
way
could
we
have
can
used a
save
better
money.
case than
Like
stealing
that,
candy. It was weird. It was just
right?
like,
They could have used a better
okay.
case. But I kind of like the idea that you didn't realize what happened until it
No,
smacked you in
no,
the
but yeah,
face. I was
it
like,
came
that's
together
kind of
well. That
cool.
was a
I
nice
like
little
that.
aspect of the
So
show. And you can
right,
tell it's probably you're right. That's part of like it was good, but it was weird. I don't think that fit with the rest of the show totally. What we seen is like
right,
okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
probably an episode of they were trying to
The
do that in an original
the
series. You
only
know,
the way that I appreciate them working is that this was like sort of like the second reminder, not like a major in your face like the
right?
White Tiger situation, but a second reminder to Matt like the system's a
Yeah,
little broken, man. Like you barely got the White Tiger off, and then this dude is just another one of many that gets lost in the
yeah.
system because of this. So like you recognize you were able to save the White Tiger because he was a superhero, so his case stood out. But this guy's just a
Which
regular
is
guy.
what just what
So
we
this is
that they
just
were really
happenstance
focused
for you
on.
to
You know,
figure
the
out in the
small
first
guys. That's
place.
what they're about, right? Helping the other people out. So, which is cool.
Right.
Right,
That's the
exactly. So I
the
thought that
original
was
intent of
probably
it.
something they were
Right.
trying
Yeah.
to do in the original creation of the series for the season.
Right.
But look, it's good so far. We know that was coming. The seeds are dropping, right? He's getting a little bit more upset. You know, the cop says
Absolutely.
stuff to him. He
Absolutely.
wants more Matt Murdock. What's wrong with that guy? You don't want to know this dude. What he said. That was a cool line when he told him
It's
something
funny.
about,
I was thinking about it.
oh man, next time, whatever. Man, he threatened him again. The cop did. What the whole fight thing.
Oh yeah, he goes. Next time we'll see if we might can put the
More your
herd
friends.
easy. You
That's
have
what
to
it was.
bring
Yeah,
along
yeah,
more of your
yeah.
friends.
So that was a cool little back and forth there.
I will say it's really funny when we first heard about the troubles with the original version of the show. They're like, "Well, Daredevil doesn't get into his costume to the fourth episode." We're like, "That's ridiculous! That's crazy, man!" And then we got
A
in the
little bit.
first episode a little bit of costume and nothing, and no one's saying anything. This is such a great show.
I don't know if we're gonna. I think we'll get him in the 6th or maybe the 7th.
I I think
I don't
I
think
think the fifth
too soon.
episode is probably gonna get
I
him
think
a
we're gonna
costume.
find out more about the muse. That still needs to breathe a little bit. So maybe the 6th or the
Okay.
end of 6th, he puts it, and that's how it ends with him putting the mask on. Like, okay, now I'm back. You know, something like
I
that.
think I think I'm gonna shortchange your offer and say
So at the end, he
episode
puts
end of
the
episode
costume.
5
Like
he
we
gets
don't
the
see him in
costume.
action,
6
just him
4.
putting it on. Okay.
Yeah, end of a
That's
5,
yeah,
put him on.
that
Action
would
is
work.
6.
But yeah, if it happens, it's gonna be at the end.
Right.
We know it's not gonna be in the beginning. Oh, it's not happening at all. But I think now we
No,
gotta
no.
get now. I think now we get from what I hear. I told you before. This is where the season really kind of picks up. Yeah, when it
Yeah,
picks
5 on
up,
is when
yeah,
it's
so
supposed to
okay,
get really good.
Hopefully,
Right.
little hiccups early. It's fine. It's still it's still a good show. It's still working. It's
Sure.
still working well for me. Some issues here and there. We talk, they know the world, but I think now when I judge the show now, moving forward. Yeah, now we get
Absolutely.
2, so
Absolutely.
that's cool. So this is gonna be they just make it one long episode, but whatever.
Absolutely.
I don't know why they gotta split them. I mean, I know it's
we
not
could
hard to
dream.
just give us an hour and a half and just say it's a special long episode. I mean, whatever. Fine. You guys had 10 minutes of credits from 2 different shows. 2 episodes.
You just press the next episode.
I know.
Just press
But
the next
what I'm saying.
episode. You're
It's
good.
just a little break in
You got
between.
nothing to worry about.
Dude, just release both. But obviously that was intentional with 2 episodes, so these 2 have to be seen together. I think I would assume that's the thought process of it.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
maybe I hope it's not like a
Yeah.
scheduling thing. This is why they did it. Maybe.
I think it's both, but it was convenient to pull it off.
It
like,
makes
oh,
sense.
this is a
Maybe it's like a little
two-parter.
clip.
Let's
Maybe
put
you're
them on
right.
at the same
The
time.
mask and it ends like no, and then we get to see him again with the mask on. Maybe. I'm pretty sure. I gotta see them together. I really hope I hope.
They are
I
clearly.
don't know
They
how
are
big a role he
clearly.
has. I
Yeah.
didn't read into as far as Barenthal's role, and I don't know, but
I heard
Well,
he's
obviously,
not
right.
like a co-star, but he is present and then out of the next 5 episodes, I think he's
Okay.
present in 3 of them. That's what I heard.
listen,
But yeah,
all right, I see him more than at this point. To be honest with you, I think he
absolutely.
elevates the show.
Yeah,
I think he really elevated the
absolutely.
second season because of him. You know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, even the middle part of season 2, which is not my favorite, that whole sequence with Kingpin playing him in prison and making him kill all those dudes, like
Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
great, like that subplot
That kept the
was
middle
dope.
section of that season afloat. Because yeah, that
Yeah.
was the weakest of the
Uh-huh.
3 seasons. I thought personally. I thought it started
Yeah.
great and it ended really well, but the middle was, yeah,
Yeah. But that middle part was weak. But
it was
everything with Frank
money,
in jail was
absolutely money.
dope. And I
So,
was like, this is
so let's see.
fantastic.
We'll
Yeah.
talk. We'll talk about those 2 episodes. I do, and I almost forgot. I totally forgot. We have to bring up Invincible before we go here. We haven't talked Invincible. It ended its 8 episode run, season 3 on Amazon. I've been a big fan of the show since then, and I thought this season was better than the second season. You know, I thought the second season was okay,
I agree.
it was solid, right?
I agree.
It felt a little pragmatic. This one kind of
right.
felt more together as a season, and had some really cool moments, man. It
yes.
really did.
Dude, there's some like violence in this season specifically that made me go like, oh, like I like, yeah.
Just, I mean, there was episode with Aaron Paul that was really good, really strong. There was an incredible intro with the 2 guys who were robbing banks. And,
the from the future, right?
There was no dialogue for the first 5 minutes.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh no! That was the gay supervillain couple, right? That they're trying to go straight, and life keeps putting. Once again, if you put it in that context, same situation with this guy that Matt Murdock was helping in episode 4. They're just they tried doing it right, and the system keeps putting him
that was a
right back there.
Really well done episode. A lot of good stuff, man. It's really good stuff. Yeah. I wish I got a little bit more of Father and Rogan's character. I forgot his name. Omni-Man and
Omni-Man. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of just
and Alan the Alien.
In the beginning, and then they never went back to him. Yeah.
It was a little beginning, right? And then I will say, what a great way the last episode to see the guy who played Glenn and the guy who played Negan voicing Invincible and Conquest. I was like, justice for Glenn, yes, do it. And God damn it, did he get it? So
and
wow,
Cecil's
crazy.
Story, I thought was
Cecil's story has been nothing but fantastic.
Great backstory with him, and it really gives you a good sense because we've seen those kind of characters all the time. The guys who do what they have to do, but now we know why he does it, and how he does it.
It's the kind of stuff where they've hinted to this with Nick Fury, but Cecil gets to do it.
Of him and why that was awesome. That was really cool. I think they really hit a home run with this. It was really, really well put together, man. So I hope I don't know how long they're gonna keep doing this, but
I think it's like another 3 episodes they guaranteed for it.
3 episodes, that's
3 seasons or 3 seasons.
Three seasons. Kudos to them. It's a cool show, man. I know it's been watched a lot, but people need to watch it. If you haven't seen it, it's legit. It's really good.
Yeah. It's got its core fan base. It makes the money that it needs to make in terms of streaming to keep getting renewed, but it should be way bigger in my opinion because it's so good.
I think people look animation
possibly,
they see animation differently. They just do, for whatever reason. People I know, like, because we're talking. A couple of friends of mine was talking about the boys. Oh yeah, and I pushed them to watch the show, and they did. And Invincible was like, you gotta. It's like you want a graphic level, and they're like, it's animation, and it's just a stigma. Whether it's right or wrong, it's just a stigma. People have animation. They just look at it differently. We don't because we appreciate it, but
I get it.
It's unfortunate.
Right.
It is what it is. So. It's going strong, but really good stuff. So, but
do yourself a favor. If you're watching this, clearly you're watching now. But tell a friend, tell 2 if you can. Watch it.
Really good show, really well done. So 3 episodes, and hopefully the next one comes out sooner or later. I think it is. I think this one took only a year, maybe less. I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, so awesome stuff. So that being said, those are the nuggets for the week.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show. We appreciate all the support you always give us. Don't forget to follow us here at the Latin Nerd Network here on YouTube, where you watch shows such as Nerdsplaining and Thanos' Choice and The Watch List. We have more shows coming up for you hopefully this year as well, but we're so busy because we got stuff like Danger Squad. Don't forget to go to Danger Squad. Don't forget you can buy Danger Squad on Amazon, on Kindle now. Yeah, and on anyone publishing as well. We got more stuff coming in. I know the books have still not come out yet. There's some things we're taking care of. I apologize but it's coming. I promise you. Don't forget to go to ericdasilva.com, ERICDASILVA. Check out the original audio episodes for the show. And while you're there, pick up my album, Adorably Offensive, as well. I got more shows coming out. I'm going to be in Atlanta and Georgia, a couple more shows. And then in May, I'm going to be back in Central Florida. More stuff to know. Come, and I'll let you know about that stuff as well. And let us know what you thought about the show. Let us know what you think about Daredevil. Let us know what you think about Invincible and all the fun stuff. Once again, guys, I've been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you